I've got green on today because we're going to talk a little bit about St. Patrick and St. Patrick's Day, which is coming up next week. It's very interesting. St. Patrick was actually born in England. He was not Irish. When he was a teenager, he was actually kidnapped by Irish pirates, taken to Ireland and turned into a slave that had to tend to animals. He did escape back to England and had a religious awakening and decided to enter the priesthood and went through all of the training to become a priest, and ultimately was named a bishop and sent back to Ireland. Now, the story that has been told about St. Patrick is that he went to Ireland to get rid of the snakes. Well, there is absolutely no truth historically to that story. In fact, the fossilized records that exist from the 6th century in Ireland showed that they had no snakes. But what he did do was he got rid of a lot of what were known as heathens, non-believers, non-Christians. And his job was to be a missionary to convert people to Catholicism. And he did that with great zeal and had a significant amount of success in the 500s when he lived, converting people to Christianity. And we celebrate March 17th, which is the day that St. Patrick died. He was ultimately canonized and made a saint by the Catholic Church. And it's interesting, too, because in Ireland, historically, the celebrations are very modest. But it was the Irish that moved to this country that took that celebration to a whole different level. So in New York City, Chicago, and Savannah, where they have large Irish populations, the parties that they throw are pretty remarkable. In fact, in Chicago, and they've been doing this since 1962, they actually dye the Chicago River green about a week and a half before they actually have the celebration, the St. Patrick's Day celebration. And it's a pretty cool sight if you ever go to Chicago and you see the Green River. They have huge parades in New York City and in Savannah. And Savannah's actually started in 1812. Savannah had a lot of Irish immigrants that came over, especially when the potato famine started in the mid-1800s. And that huge Irish population that they have in Savannah and New York and Chicago celebrate these extraordinary, with these extraordinary parties and festivals. And it's pretty cool. Around the globe, there are a handful of other countries that celebrate St. Patrick's Day in a very special way. The small island nation of Montserrat, which is in the Caribbean, was originally a British colony, but it was settled primarily by Irish that moved there. And it's the only nation in the world where March 17th is a national holiday because they have such a large Irish population. We also have seen places like Sydney, Australia, where the Opera House, the very famous Opera House, is bathed in green light on March the 17th, and they have an all-day festival to celebrate St. Patrick's Day there. And you wouldn't think of Australia as having a large Irish population, but they really do. The other city that does, they do not have a large Irish population, but it's a big celebration anyway, is Rio de Janeiro. I think Rio uses any excuse to have a celebration, so it's not that surprising. But they take the 100-foot tall Christ the Redeemer statue that looks over the harbor, and they bathe it in green light, and then they have Irish music, Irish food at most of the restaurants in the city for the whole weekend of St. Patrick's Day weekend. So, however you choose to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, wearing green, having a Guinness beer, having some corned beef and cabbage, we want you to be safe, but we also want you to have a wonderful time, especially if you do have some Irish heritage in you. We want to wish you a very, very happy and fun St. Patrick's Day from all of us here. Thank you very much.